Good afternoon, and thank you to be present on our webinar. First of all, I introduce me. I'm Davide Perina, Product Manager for Thermal Management, Air Conditioner, Heat Exchanger, and Ventilation. Today, we speak about the connectivity and about the possibility to connect our air conditioner to remote monitoring. Before to start, here you can see a link. It's available on section question and answer. Please save the link at the end of the webinar. Click to open the form and fill in the form. In this way, you will receive the slide of the presentation of the webinar. In case you have a question, use this section, and at the end of the webinar, we read them. We can start. The men are always at the need to communicate before orally and after by writing, using the stone after the paper and now with the PC, tablet, and smartphone. The available quantity of the information is increased during the time and according to the type of the used device. As shown in the image in this slide, the amount of available information has increased significantly since 2000 thanks to the growth of the web. For the next year, a new technology will be an amplifier of access and creation of the information. It is the 5G. It is defined by the expert as a new way to manage the communication with the 5G. In fact, the speed will be then 10 times higher than the current standard. There will be a strong reduction in response time, and it will be possible to have more connection in the same time. It is important to say that 5G has needed of an optical fiber net in order to demonstrate its potential. Without it, there is not the support structure for the distribution of the information. The 5G will be basic for the future. Consider just think that some people are already starting to talk about 6G. The 5G is closely related to IoT and edge computer. Now let's see in brief. The IoT are connected devices to the net that monitoring and control of the systems. They create and receive the information and interact with the other device. We can find them anywhere and their concern any ambient, people, business for information, interaction in every moment, always more in future. We are more and more often to talk about a smart car, smart home, or smart factory. The smart city is a city that manages in a smart way its resource and as the topic of becoming economically and energetically sustainable. These are recurrent arguments in this period and will be strong in the next future. It includes several aspects of the city and everyday life. For example, the smart mobility and the autonomous driving of the car, the management of the parking and lighting on the street, interaction of the road sign and traffic lights, but also the monitoring of the ambient and quality of the air and so on. Moreover, near the idea of the smart city, there is a smart grid. We speak about a smart grid in order to produce and supply electricity. That is to support the system. It must be based on sustainable energies, with the management of the real consumption of the fluctuation and seasonality, for example, present of the sun or wind. Now let's see the edge computing. It is a processing data from local device near where it is generated, rated a centralized data center cloud. Edge computing allows an acceleration of data flow, a reduction or elimination of the light times, a reduction of the needed broadcast band, and a reduction of the cost, increasing the privacy and defense against cyber attacks. The companies and its process that produce product and service are changing. We are from few some year inside a transformation was called Industry 4.0. It concerns a set of physical and digital systems and data analysis devices connected each other along whole chain, mainly in the production and logistics department, in order to manage the information in real time, making more efficient and safe process and reduce the inactive and waste time. A marginal rule, but however to consider, it is the digitalization and the massive elimination of the paper for the procedures, for the process and product documentation, and so on. With the storage of the data in digital format, the data can be found, modified, and used easily. Another aspect to consider it is the maintenance. The reactive maintenance was based on the concept of the action and reaction. Every activity is made only after the fault is present. The preventive maintenance schedules the activities in order to prevent the fault, but often the frequency is not justified with the cost and for benefit from it. With the increase of the availability of the data interaction, it is possible to introduce the predictive maintenance. It uses the data in real time. In this way, the activity will be made in order to avoid the fault, but with the correct modes and time, when data report the real necessary. The technology that we saw until now are in strong expansion in the last year, and in the future it will be more. We can see some data about it. About the edge computing, we are speaking about 3.24 billion of dollars in the 2025, with an expected growth of 41% per year in the period 2019-2026. The 5G will have a growth of about of 50%, reaching 30 billions of the dollar in 2025. About the smart grid, the forecast from today to 2040 is 36% of the total investment for electrical sector for a total of 1.100 billion of euro. On the web, you can see more and more data and article about this growing, about this sector and the vertical. Now we see the air conditioner and which interaction has with the system. Let's take a look at how this aspect is evolved during the time. In the past, a simple mechanical thermostat controlled the air conditioner without interaction with the user and with the system. After the user wanted more interaction with the unit, but he didn't need the interaction with the system. So the best solution was the electronic thermostat. Now the units have to give more interaction, both the user than the local system, and an electronic board with more function is better and useful than electronic thermostat. By Industry 4.0 and more connectivity in the world, the interaction with the system is beginning to become an Ethernet communication. And in the future, this future will be stronger. The air conditioner must monitor it from any remote device. What does air conditioner cool? Any electrical enclosure where the data are created. An air conditioner has to be enabled to cool in efficient way, but also it must connect to the net because it's part of the chain. The air conditioner will be installed on the electrical enclosure along production assembly line, or at the end of the line, or inclusion in support to internal or external logistics of the company. The air conditioner will be installed on the outdoor cabinet where the heat load needed is present, but which cabinet? For example, for distribution of the electricity, smart grid, optical fiber net, or monitoring control net, for example, car monitoring. At the end, they find application for the cooling of the server rack for edge computing. Now see which casemate range is possible to propose and which are suitable for each application. The ProTerm CV-CNE, Slim in CDE and Flexin CDI for the thermal management of the enclosure along the production line. Moreover, the Flexin CDI is particularly suitable for the cooling of the server at the end of the line in logistic department, or indoor cabinet for the management of the optical fiber 5G, thanks to modulation of the cooling capacity in according to the real heat load. At the end, program CVO, CNO, and Predator PRT for the installation on the outdoor cabinet for the service of the grid net, optical fiber, cars monitoring of the cars, and so on. Which type of the remote monitoring allow our unit? A Modbus R2 communication by RS485 serial port for air conditioner Slim-In, ProTherm, and Predator. The air conditioner Slim-In have as a standard a serial port RS485. For ProTherm units, the serial port is available as accessory. Instead, for Predator, it can be added as option. Definitely, the range Flexin has the best feature for the remote monitoring. It has an integrated Ethernet port that allows the connection with main protocol, HTTP, SNMP, and TCP/IP. Also, the air conditioner can be registered to connect to Adam app. Thanks to it, all the information of your units are closed at the end. There are reduction commissioning, maintenance, analysis, and troubleshooting times. What can you do with the Adam app? To register the unit on mobile device, you will have access to enter sales and technical documentation, unit organization with the custom name and notes, technical server request for troubleshooting, and repair directly for the app access to the web interface of the unit Flexin to monitoring operating status, operating parameters, alarm, and change their configuration. We can see it that. So by app, you can have under control the Flexin unit by mobile device. Easily, it is necessary to only to download the app, register the unit, and edit its IP address. You are able to see the status of the unit and working parameter. Here in detail, main page, you can see the parameter, alarm, and the parameter that you change. You can change set point and alarm value. Okay, I finished. In case you have a question, you can make with the section question and answer in your in these Teams. So this is a question about the glasses for service. Unfortunately, I don't make in charge with the after sales activity. Please, you can contact our after sales department, and they can give you more information about this point. Okay, we wait some minutes moment in case there are other question. This is a question about Adam and where the location. Yes, it's necessary to put the address and location of the system. Hey Olga, about your problem, I write your question and we can check with my colleague internally. So there is no another question. So I say thank you for the attention and goodbye.